What is up, guys? It's the Senator, and today I'm going to be talking about an operator that can play a huge role when it comes to winning your matches. But most of us don't even bother to play this operator, and this operator is Smoke. And the reason why so many people don't play Smoke can vary greatly. But this one operator can have an insanely large impact on your defensive rounds. It may be because you don't know how to properly use Smoke effectively, or maybe you're not too crazy about his weapon kit. Whatever the reason may be, I'm here to convince you that you should be playing him more and how you can get better with him. But before I get too deep into this, remember to subscribe and hit the bell icon. That would help me out so much. Also, go check out my Instagram and Twitch. Links will be down below in the description. So I feel that if you want to get better, you need to look at what's going on in the Pro League. If you watch enough Pro League, you'll learn new angles and new ways to play and new ways to, think about Siege as a whole. And just sitting down and watching these extremely skilled players will overall just increase your game sense and your game knowledge. And so I used to think that the biggest difference between what's being done in the Pro League and what we experience in ranked matches was just overall experience and mechanical skill. And while that is true, it goes a whole lot deeper. Specifically, when you look at the operators that are being played in the Pro League versus the operators that are picked just in our regular public matches. So when looking at the operators that are picked in ranked, you'll notice that Smoke is picked roughly 32% of the time. And honestly, that's a pretty good pick rate. I was actually surprised when I saw that. But you also may notice that his win rate isn't the highest. You'll see that his win rate is negative 1.5%. And what most will deduct from that chart is that Smoke has a good pick rate, but since he has a low win rate, that he's not a very good operator. And honestly, I would come to the same conclusion. However, if you look at the pick rate in Pro League, you'll notice that that is not the case at all. When looking at the Pro League stats, you'll notice that Smoke is one of the most, if not the most, picked defensive operator. In the EU, he's picked at a rate of 78%, which was more than Jaeger, and in North America, he's picked at a rate of 82.9%. And as of 2 years ago, he was at a pick rate of over 90%. So I think it's fair to say that Smoke is just an absolute staple when it comes to Pro League play, and we should be looking at that. And so you may look at that and just come to the conclusion that only the best players can play Smoke effectively, but honestly, that's not the case at all. I think that one of the bigger reasons as to why people don't play Smoke very much is because of his loadout, and more specifically, people have a tough time with the SMG-11, which most people decide to run as the primary weapon. I know technically it's a secondary weapon, but usually most of the time people run that as their primary weapon. But before I get too deep into the SMG-11, let's just discuss the FMG-9 real quick. And to me, that's one of the biggest problems with Smoke's loadout. It's one of the weaker SMGs. It does fire at 800 rounds per minute, which is sort of in the middle of the road when you take SMGs into account. But when you take into account the damage and the recoil that comes with it, it's not worth it in my opinion. You may have a different opinion, you may love the FMG-9, but in my opinion, it's just not my style. And I think many people see the FMG-9 as a typically weak gun, so that's why usually we'll see the shotgun with the SMG-11 loadout. And I think that's why most people stay away from Smoke, because being effective with Smoke typically means that you need to be skilled with the SMG-11. And I think when it comes to the SMG-11, you'll either love it or you absolutely hate it. And I think that can translate specifically for console players, because being accurate on controller is already a difficult task and it requires you to be very, very skilled. And so when you use an SMG that fires at a rate of over 1,200 rounds per minute with a 17 round mag capacity, it requires you to be accurate. But aside from his loadout, I feel like there's a bigger reason as to why people don't play Smoke as much. And I think most people don't play Smoke because of his role, and his utility may not fit the playstyle of many players. Some players really like to take that roamer role and just go off site and try to delay the attackers for as long as possible. Some players, like me, like to be anchors and just try their best to hold angles on site. And some like to play whatever's best for the team, and others will play for, the best weapon, whatever can get them the most kills. Whatever your playstyle, it's important to take note that you need your roamers and you need your anchors. And if you're the one who likes to take on the anchor role, you need to use Smoke more. And remember, Siege isn't about getting the most kills on your team. You can go play Call of Duty if you want that experience. But when playing Siege, especially in ranked, it's about the win. So how can you get better with Smoke? And the first tip I'm going to give you is get comfortable with the SMG-11. If you can become accurate with the SMG-11, Smoke will automatically become one of your favorite operators to anchor with. With this insanely high fire rate, just put the reticle near their head and usually you'll find that headshot. And if you don't typically, you can whip out that shotgun and finish them off with that powerful 12 gauge. Probably one of the most powerful 12 gauges in the game. So if the SMG-11 is a gun that you're not comfortable with, what I recommend you do is go into T-Hunt as Sledge and use only the SMG-11. And a drill that I like to use with the SMG-11 is to kill 3 enemies in a T-Hunt before I have to reload the weapon. And this does 2 things. It gets you used to the recoil of the weapon and improves your aim tremendously. Being that you have to kill 3 enemies with 17 bullets in the gun that shoots 1,200 rounds per minute, it's important that you hit that first shot. Not only will this drill improve your aim and get you to become more comfortable with the SMG-11, but it'll improve your aim overall with all weapons, not just the SMG-11. And I use this drill most of the time whenever I warm up, and I've noticed a great increase in my headshots with the SMG-11, as well as other weapons. However, if aim is not the issue you have with Smoke, it may be the type of playstyle that you have to conform to in order to play him effectively. And I understand that anchoring on sight is not the most glamorous or fun part of playing Siege. I know that you want to go out and drop 3 kills on a roam, and believe me, we all want that. But as I said earlier, you can go play Call of Duty if you want to rack up kills. In Siege, preventing the attackers from planning is the purpose as a defender. And I've seen it so many times where a dude racks up 16 kills and then loses the match because his teammates weren't playing the site they're all trying to play for kills. So Smoke, your goal is the same as every other anchor, and that is to hold angles into sight. And if you want to know more about the best ways to anchor a site, I actually have a video already up on that. I'll try to remember to put a card in here for that. But anyways, as Smoke, the easiest way to play him effectively is to play doorway into sight. Set up a deployable shield so you can safely hold the angle on the door, and then your goal is to prevent entry through the doorway with either your canisters, or you can quick pick them through the shield. And that's the simplest way to play him. Your entire purpose as Smoke is to delay their entry into sight. And out of all the defensive operators, Smoke is the absolute best at this. With his canisters, he's able to deny entry for a total of 30 seconds. And considering that the round lasts 3 minutes, that means that 1/6 of the time can be spent blocking off a specific door. And that time can increase when you consider the amount of time it takes for attackers to actually push into sight. Of the 3 minutes in the action phase, attackers will typically take at least half of the time droning out and trying to enter the building. So conservatively, that leaves roughly about 90 seconds for the attackers to actually get into sight and plant the bomb. So that means 1/3 of the time that you spend on defense can be dedicated to actively denying entry. And honestly, that is so powerful. And adding a Smoke along with maybe a Goyo can increase the time to 30 seconds. Pop the Goyo shield and then start throwing those canisters. That's 40 seconds of them not being able to push in through one specific door. And you can think on site there are many doors that they have to come through. You can look at Bank. The server door is the big one that they usually kind of try to come through. You can delay their entry for 30 seconds with Smoke, 40 seconds with a Goyo. So when you take into consideration that you'll have a team around you that is able to give you a verbal call out as to where they hear attackers, as well as operators who give you cameras and other information utilities, you'll know exactly who is pushing you and from where. And you can completely deny their entry for 30 seconds, and that is just absolutely ridiculous, and it's insane that we're not playing this operator as much as we should be. So play Smoke. If you can learn to run the SMG-11 and can play as a conservative anchor, I can guarantee that you will win more rounds. And if you continuously struggle with the SMG-11, that's okay. I still have some struggles with it. I still miss a lot of shots with it. Then it's okay. Run the FMG9 if that's the case. But the utility that you get out of Smoke is just absolutely insane, and the ability to deny sight for 30 seconds is insanely OP. And that's why he's just picked so much more in the Pro League, because they realize this and they know how to use him effectively. And so I hope I was able to convince you how vital Smoke can be, and hopefully you start running him more. And I've been playing Smoke constantly, and I've noticed a great increase in the number of defensive matches that I have won. So I say give Smoke a week. Regardless of which loadout you want to run with him, play him as a conservative anchor. When playing, keep in mind that your goal is to just deny entry. And I hope this helps, and hopefully this will lead you to winning more matches. So that's about it. And as always, have a good one.